Hey there, Backscatter Echo here, just chiming in on CSGO agenda, and I have an old video playing for you to watch where I talk about toxic gamers or toxic players. Um, the last match that I played on Face It was like a perfect example of why I want to talk about this. Um, all five players on my team were between level 2 and level 4, so nobody was like global or whatever, and they're all decent players. And we're playing the first 2-3 rounds. I was fragging out, other people were fragging out, everybody was doing pretty well. And then one guy doesn't have a mic, but he's like typing shit to the other player, and then he just gets the other player tilted, and then he's like talking a bunch of shit, and then instead of focusing on the objective, they're just kind of having a dick measuring contest. And um, I was like, well, just mute him or whatever. He didn't have a mic, so I was like, just ignore him. Whatever's going on, can we just play the game? And then they continued to go back and forth, and he like tried to he started talking shit to another player on the game that had like 2 kills or something. It was like 2 and 15, and, and it was like we were pretty much winning, and we ultimately did end up winning the but it was like I had to like ask people to please put, just like new round, move on. But anyway, so everybody on the team was good enough to be beating the team that we were playing against, but they just weren't staying focused. And so I think that one of the reasons I want to talk about just players that are toxic is this, understanding that everybody has come into the game with a different perspective. And ultimately, I think when the round goes live, depending on whatever mood they're in or whatever, then certain things happen that gets them tilted on one way or another. So it could be something as simple as like at the beginning of a round when people are like, oh, mic check, and then I say something, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to be playing with the girl or whatever, and then they just like to the rest, like they'll start that match then kind of not playing serious or whatever they're, however that affects them. But so there's so many different factors, and I think that it's good to know, so that you can try to get people on the same page together, to know kind of a little bit about why people come off as toxic. So not all of them are just like straight broken players. So you have your toxic, clueless players. You got a D on your recent math test. You're grounded or restricted from something you wanted, or generally don't get enough attention at home. These players typically don't have experience in the game, or know very much about how to play the game, just kind of running around and fragging. You're pissy because you've been rejected, are hungry, tired, horny, or irritated. It's a really important in a clutch type situation, or like when your team's like fragging out, to just stay calm. And anyway, being balanced, exercising, eating healthy, drinking water, making sure you get plenty of sleep at night, and that you're not masturbating too much, but just the right amount. Otherwise, it's like you may as well have been at the gym all day. And I'm reading off my notes here. So, toxic gamers, tilted. You're on tilt because you lost a match or some emo drama on your team. Because of this, you've lost respect for the game and therefore faith in your teammates. You won't give calls or criticism, but will lash out at players in hindsight of their mistakes. And then the alternate of that is that you give way too much feedback early on and scare your teammates into playing scared. that's pretty a large category of players, and that's probably, I guess, your most common brand of toxic players. You are generally jaded, but have chosen to humor people's antics in game, but then you get depressed because people don't try. I guess you could say that's like a toxic emo player. You are a toxic broken player. You think you're way better than you actually are, and if you took any basic feedback, you could be a skilled player. So again, a skilled player is someone who helps other people around them if they need help. And if they don't need help, they generally just like make the other players around them better players. So, it's not just about like getting carried. It's about, the momentum in the game. And this is why, people's attitudes and figuring out sort of like where different people are coming from and trying to like counter that. The example that I gave, for example, like me getting on the mic, in pregame, a lot of times I'll wait until the game is started, and then so that people can see that I'm playing seriously, and then talk on the mic, because a lot of times, like, if I just say something, or I'm just like shooting the shit or whatever, say something funny in pregame or start talking smack, a lot of times people will just be like, oh, there's a girl on our team, we're fucking throwing, and they just like won't even try, and they're just like, okay, everybody's trying to get laid or trying to get her digits or whatever. But that again is just like one brand of people who want to throw, and I think there was some more notes here. I just gotta find it. There's so many. I didn't have open pages on my notebook, so I was like writing in the backs of pages in random places. So, because what I was just talking about, it reminded me of. I know I had more. Let's see. There we go. Toxic behavior is relative to your drive. Knowing your flavor is also knowing your weakness. Knowing your weakness is knowing your potential. So, toxic trolls is the other one. And that would be people who are intimidated. Someone in the server has flexed his or her skills. Or for whatever reason, because of that, they feel the need to impress that person. You either fail to follow the objective because you are way too busy mustering up your swagger, flaunting bravado, or generally making it seem like you don't need to try because you're awesome. Or you refuse to try and just stick around like you're an idiot to make it seem that, so that when you do try, quote unquote, it's clear that you aren't really trying. And there's so much of a paradox happening here. But generally this happens when there is a pro player, a girl, or a tryhard in this server. Good game if you're all three. Toxic trolls aren't throwing, they lack skill, and they won't accept their role or position on a team. So, again, that's, maybe not someone who's full on a tilted gamer toxic. That's not someone who's just like, they got a D on their math test toxic. This is like someone who, for whatever reason, is unwilling to work as a team, be cooperative with their team, make calls, that sort of stuff. So, I see a lot of people just running around deathmatching on the map, and, it's like, even if we're winning, it's just, I'm bored. You know what I mean? It's like, really, like, people think that's the game, and that's all there is to the game or something. It's pretty upsetting. So anyway, talk to your team. If 2 or more people on your team either don't have mics or are not talking or potentially throwing, then talk to the one person on your team who is, and just, you know, at the beginning of the round, when you're playing on a team, when everybody leaves spawn, like CT side, you call where you're going. So if people are going to switch spots, you're going to call that you're switching your spot. If, you know, even if you're not switching spots, like you're calling where you're going so that everybody knows that every spot is going to be covered. So if, you know, 3 guys go toward A and you're going toward B, you know, you call, I'm going, you know, B, you'd go B and not go mid. But you'd call, I'm going B, somebody needs to pick up mid, or you call, I'm going mids, there's nobody in B, you know, so that's that communication. If other people on your team aren't communicating, then just go with the one person that is communicating and say, hey, you know, where are you going this round? Are you going, you know, you're going top mid, I'll go underpass, say this map, Mirage. You know, just get your timing in time with that person and communicate with them, and then other people will start communicating as well too. Toxic behavior is contagious. That's why they call it toxic behavior. But it also works on the flip. So constructive behavior is also contagious. So if you feel like people are going crazy, like being whatever, like whether they're just dicking around or whether they're being all stressed out and tilted, just stay calm. And if you're calm, anything is possible. It doesn't matter if you have no money, it doesn't matter if you have no rounds, it doesn't matter if you have no kills. Like, if you get tilted, the game's over. If you stay calm, you can regroup, you still have numbers or whatever. And, alright, so that's my pep talk. How toxic are you? Stop being toxic. You could be constructive. Everybody hold hands and play Counter-Strike, because that's the best way that you can play this game. If you're feeling lonely on your team, ask someone to hold your hand. Just say, hey, you know, I'm gonna push ramp. Someone come push ramp with me, or you know, if you feel like one person communicating on your team, you know, call that person like, hey, Blue, come to this spot with me, or work this place with me, or work this pick. All right, so let's see. You guys are about to see us win this match. It's pretty boring, actually. There were some good frags there. I was actually thinking of playing you another video here, because it kind of demonstrates what I was talking about, actually. And it's just a little like a 5K, one of my videos, but what's unique about it is that I'm in a face it pug, and I don't know any of the players. You know, I solo queued, and you can hear me talking to people, and the way that I interact with players, even though I don't know them, or you know, they haven't been playing as long as me or whatever. So I'm gonna play this for you. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Yeah, bye.
Like last time you threw the smoke and it was like, you know, I'll show you.
Bathroom.
Is it too close, or you want it farther away?
Yeah.
But like I want to under the steps so I can look over it. Like.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know about that.
One close. Yes, sir.
He's pushing.
Oh my
Oh my god, you're nuts.
Holy.
Drop, girl. Is that you? Is that the real Valley girl? Drop.
Alright,
Is
and
it
just
really
all of us.
Valley girl? Please stand up.
Whoa. Okay, he's on. tell the
He's going
bomb.
towards it.
Yeah, his mom.
He's gonna be on the right,
Damn
obviously.
it, dude. She doesn't leave any for the rest of us.
Sorry, Babs. I got you
Got a 4K or 5? Can I get that off? That was my off.
You
That
can
was my
chill
off.
out,
Dude, can I
alright?
get that
Listen
off?
to-
I don't even know. They're like, was that an ace? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just playing the game. We won the round. Let's go. All right. So anyway, when you're playing as a team, you're playing a team player. You know, you're listening. You see at the beginning of the round. I think I cut it short, but he's basically saying, you know, that smoke that you threw is shit. And he says he wants the smoke in a different place, and he was opping, I believe. And whatever, for whatever reason. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what you mean. You know, show me how you want that. And you can see where CT side was, you know, we had some rounds on the other team, and we're just like carrying the momentum. Anyway, I hope this helps. And next time you feel like you want to get on tilt, that you just take a deep breath and think about or focus on what is going well on your team, who is talking, and be constructive. Get your timing going with them, and hopefully that will be contagious for the other players, and hope you get the dubs. All right, please like, follow, subscribe, and I'll keep adding content. Let me know if you did not like this video, why. I'd like to hear your feedback. All right, good game.